Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hi-Fi Summit. Day 2 continues, and we are here with Jamie from Wharfedale. Well, AIG and Wharfedale. We'll find out what that means. What's going on, Jamie? IAG.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Yeah, really good. Really pleased to be here.
Hey, Jamie. Yeah. One of my favorite dudes in this audio game. I met you back at Expona, I believe, and had a good time. Thanks to the guys over there at MoFi.
We did
ate all the food. I ate all that food. Good times.
That's how they got you there, man.
John, is everyone excited to meet Hugh Grant? Yeah, he's here. He's here. There he is. Boom.
That's harsh, man. It's harsh.
You're a lot younger than Hugh Grant, from what I see.
I am about 20 years younger than Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Very cool. So, what are we talking about today? Some speakers?
Yeah. If you guys will let me. Yeah. So yeah,
absolutely.
My name's Jamie. I'm from IAG Group, and we are the owners of the Wharfedale brand. And Wharfedale, we've gone through glut and new products recently, but the most recent is the Diamond 12 series, which is a flagship series for Wharfedale. Long history to it. So what I'd like to do is talk you guys through what is different about the Diamond 12 and how we arrived at what we have, and where the technicalities come into play that make it such a good speaker. And the Diamond series is 38 years old, and I'd like to tell you a little bit as to why this is the best Diamond yet.
Okay.
Sounds very cool.
Yeah, and Wharfedale, you guys make some of my favorite speakers. Like I like the 11 series, Diamond 11 series. I really liked before when I reviewed them, but also the 85th anniversary Dentons. They were on the top of my leaderboard for the longest time.
Yeah.
All the other speaker manufacturers close your ears because I kind of like these guys. So hey,
no preferential treatment here.
That's right,
at least I'm putting my bias out there.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
True.
At least I know. There you go. It's all you. Floor is yours.
Great. Well, you're an honest guy, Joe, and true to form, our speakers are good. So
and also, you guys have great timing. This came this morning. I opened the door and these Diamond 12 ones are here for review. So I'm excited.
Those are some Wharfedales. Is that what you're saying, Joe?
Yep. Diamond 12.1.
Diamond 12.1s.
Let's see.
Bookshelves.
All right. All you, Jamie.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'd like to run you through a little bit with the Diamond 12 series then. So Wharfedale is a long established speaker brand. We're talking 1932 when we were established. That's 88 years old. And we were founded by a gentleman called Gilbert Briggs. And Gilbert Briggs' philosophies and his intent for the brand remain true today. I mean, when IAG Group purchased Wharfedale or acquired Wharfedale in the 90s, we kept a lot of the original staff. And that means we still have the personality and heart of the company. And Wharfedale has always been about musical performance. Gilbert Briggs himself was a pianist, very enthusiastic pianist. And he was always about the musical performance. So the one thing with Wharfedale is we are a speaker for music enthusiasts. It's about enjoyment of music. It's not an analytic tool. It's a speaker that allows you to enjoy the music. We've been a benchmark in audio for many years, back through the heyday in the 70s, right through the 80s, and even to the modern day. Some of our modern speakers, which we've launched recently, Evo 4, Elysian, Linton, we actually think that these are benchmarks of modern day hi-fi, and a lot of the press, awards, and feedback we get actually, sustains that opinion. The Diamond series itself, like I said, was the first one was 1981, so we're going back 39 years since the original one was released, iteration after iteration, all winning awards, all incremental improvements over the last. And as a flagship, it's never more true to Gilbert Briggs' original philosophy, which is musical performance, value, and the music has to come first. Now, rather than just being a aesthetic update, as you see as we scroll through here, each Diamond has had a big technological improvement every time. Now, whether that was the curvature of the cabinets we used, whether that was the groundbreaking Kevlar woofers we used, or whether that was the slot-loaded port we used in previous models, there's always an incremental increase in the performance and the value of what we offer the customer. And the Diamond 12 is no exception to that. And where we've taken the Diamond 12, we can actually quite honestly and quite confidently say it is the best Diamond yet. With the Diamond 12, we actually joined forces with a good friend of the company, a world famous speaker engineer named Karl-Heinz Fink. His team, Fink Audio, are some of the most revered speaker engineers in the world. We've worked with them previously on a lot of projects, but this is the first time Karl-Heinz has actually worked with us on Wharfedale. And there was no better fitting product than the Diamond 12, because the Fink Audio team bring advancements through technology. Now, the ear always comes first and the music always comes first. But as you guys will know, there are hundreds of speaker brands that occupy the entry-level hi-fi speaker category, and there's some fantastic models out there, some real good competitors. And you have to have incremental increases in various areas to improve the overall performance of your speaker. And the Fink Audio team have all the experience and technology to make that true. So combining that with our long history, combining that with our established speaker designs and the formats we work with, the Fink Audio team were a perfect combination to work on the Diamond 12. So the question would be, how and why is it better than the Diamond 11? It's more than just an aesthetic update. It's not just a Mark II, and no disrespect to other speaker manufacturers out there who've recently done this or done this in the past. It's not just a new color. It's not a limited edition. It's not a new color cone or anything. It is a completely new speaker. It's engineered from the ground up, and some very, very technical investigations took place to make sure we could get to the level we needed to be for the Diamond 12. So we actually dissected the speaker from top to bottom to figure out how incremental improvements in various areas could create a sum of all its parts, which would be the best Diamond yet. So we obviously have a formula. We know what we're trying to achieve with the Diamond series. Nothing's changed. It is incredible value, high performance, entry-level hi-fi for the masses. It's not a specialist speaker. Like we say, it's not a measurement tool. It's a speaker for enjoying music, which is what Wharfedale is all about. So how do we do it? The first thing that we looked at with the Fink Audio team is the magnet. The magnet is more or less the motor of the drive unit, of the woofer of the speaker. It has to be pure. It cannot generate distortion or intermodulation. So we spent a lot of time evaluating how we could choose the perfect magnet for what we're trying to achieve. So this is an excerpt from the technical documents regarding the Diamond 12, and it's an illustration of the magnetic field of the magnet that we chose for the drivers. This is for the 6-inch driver. And what we're looking for is the perfect match for the technology that goes into the actual driver system itself. So there are hidden things within the speaker, like an aluminium compensation ring, and that minimizes the influence of the induction variations that the voice call shows. As it moves through the magnet, you get influence of induction, and we need to make sure that the magnet is perfectly matched to that driver to minimize that effect. Again, it's incremental, it's small, most people wouldn't even notice it's there, but that's a level that we went to with Diamond 12 to figure out how we could get the best possible driver. If I just jump back to this slide, sorry. Oops. We even look down as far as the bobbin, which the voice call is wound on. Oh, sorry, it's going all over the place. So we take apart the driver, and the sensor there, you see the bobbin. That's where we wind the voice call. Normally in a speaker of this class, we use something which is called a Kapton bobbin, and Kapton is a high heat resistance material that offers high performance for an entry-level speaker. It's quite affordable, so a lot of speaker manufacturers use it in this class. But what we actually went for was an epoxy glass fiber bobbin. And the reason we did that is because it doesn't add eddy currents, which is a loop of electrical current induced within conductors by a change in magnet field. So an aluminium bobbin, for instance, inevitably would cause issues with the magnet. But we use this epoxy glass fiber bobbin that doesn't have that effect, and it's actually much stiffer. And it gives us a performance that we need throughout the driver motor system. And again, like I said, it's something that is hidden, something people wouldn't notice, but it's a level of incremental improvements that we went to with the driver and the Diamond 12. But the biggest development was for the Diamond 12. Throughout the history of Diamond, we've used various materials for the cone itself, the membrane. That is what gives the speaker its voice. It's what gives it its tone, and it's the most critical part in many areas. Now, we've used Kevlar previously. We've used glass aramid, different things, but this time we actually went for polypropylene. The reason we went for polypropylene was looking back over the history of Diamond and Wharfedale. Polypropylene was actually used in the old BBC monitors of the 70s. It offers very accurate performance. It allows a speaker to play louder, handle more power, offer increased sensitivity. And the key thing is tighter bass and lower coloration, which is why it was used in those old BBC reference monitors. But along with the driver motor system, we actually developed this polypropylene mix. So it has a mix of mica in there, and we call it Clarity. And it gives us a specific rigidity and weight that allows the motor system to perform as we intended. So we just zoom in for a closer look there. But with this comes obviously other technical issues that we have to overcome. There are issues with the damping, so that traditionally you would use a high damping surround, which is the rubber surround of the driver, to allow you to control the resonances and the movements to give you the performance that you actually need. But what we actually did with this was analyze it under various conditions, and this is an example of what we did. It's the cone deformation test, and this is very technical. It's basically showing you the way that the cone moves and the different frequencies. So it's what we call a heat map. And using heat maps like this, we were able to establish where the cone was working, where it's not working. And the result was we added the ridges that you see on the driver there. And those ridges aren't just for decoration. They actually add a stiffness to the cone that wasn't there previously. And you can see the ideal is basically continuous color. As it's moving, we know the speaker's remaining rigid throughout those frequency changes, and thus offering a very linear and transparent performance. This took a lot of simulation, many hours, but it's, like I said, the technological advances that the Think Audio team could bring to the project that meant we could add another incremental improvement to the Diamond 12. Then we had to look at the tweeter, for instance. This is a complete new tweeter or high frequency driver for the Diamond 12, never used before, developed from the ground up. And with this is basically, it's a polyester film, high frequency dome. It has a special coating which allows it to have smooth and open high frequencies. But the biggest thing was with the Diamond 12, as we keep saying, it's not a reference tool. It's a speaker for enjoying music at home. So the musicality, it has to sound good. So what we had to do was make a finely balanced tweeter that allowed you to hear the high frequencies and the dynamics and the openness and the music stage that we're trying to present in a genuine listening environment. So there are things that are included, like that we've tried to make as much of the dome visible as possible. That gives us the widest dispersion. And we've minimized the gap between the dome tweeter and the front of the speaker to allow for the high sound pressure levels we could possibly achieve. And with this, we can show you some measurements of the HF. So this chart basically shows you the frequency response on different axes. So it allows you to see how moving around the room actually offers a consistent high frequency response, which is unusual for a speaker at this price point. It's not particularly directional, and I think you'll find this, Joe, when you test the Diamond 12, it allows for convenient positioning in your listening room. There's no measurements or specific requirements. You can actually find a good listening position with not too much effort with the Diamond 12, such is the performance of the tweeter and the manufacturing and precision engineering that we put into the exact placement of the HF dome. And again, very technical diagrams that they look very fancy, but really what this is showing you is the sound pressure level at different angles. And you can see we've actually got a very consistent pattern there. It doesn't take an expert to show that there's consistencies in the way the colors or the heat map actually represents the high frequency response on the off-axis performance. So you can actually see there that the Diamond 12, it's very linear. The sound pressure levels that it can achieve throughout the mid-range and the mid-high frequencies, right up to well above 10 kilohertz and up to 20 kilohertz. It offers a very, very good performance off-axis and on-axis. So it makes for a good home speaker system, whether that's home theater or hi-fi. But beyond that, we have to look at the most critical part of the speaker. So we take away the drivers and they can improve. And there are hundreds of drivers within this category that can offer specific specifications or claims to fame that mean they're above the best. But as a sum of all its parts, we have to look at everything within the speaker. And the next thing we had to consider was the cabinet. And it's a whole new cabinet, completely new for Diamond 12. You'll notice it's very different to Diamond 11. It's not just an industrial design or a visual change, it's a complete change in the cabinet itself. And what we did for this was, again, run heat maps and analysis over the performance of the cabinet. So what you're seeing here is an untreated cabinet. So this is a wooden box. This is if we were to develop the Diamond 12, it's just a wooden box with a driver stuck in it. And this is a heat map to show the different resonances and the issues that are caused. You can see with a heat map, basically, where it's blue or green, it's cool. That means pretty good. Where it's yellow or red, it's starting to get hot. And that means we've got a lot of resonance or noise coming from the cabinet. And that isn't good. You never want a noisy cabinet. You can have the best drivers in the world, but if your cabinet is noisy, you're going to have issues. So what we did with the Diamond 12 was evaluate the materials and the bracing system. And we came up with a system, which you can see here. This is exactly the same frequency. So this is 647.47 hertz. Forgive me, I can't tell you why specifically I have the image for that frequency, but this is what the engineers were working to over various frequencies. And you can see with the bracing system that we used, it's blue, it's cool. That means the cabinet is extremely rigid. As it's performing over these different frequencies, it's not resonating, it's not vibrating, and we're not getting cabinet noise. And the way we did that was something called intelligent spot bracing. Normally at this price category, you'd use something like a figure of 8 bracing, which is exactly as it sounds, like a figure of 8 within the cabinet itself. But what we used was intelligent spot bracing, and we used different density materials. So that gives us different thickness, and each one is analyzed to the point we can understand the resonant properties. With that, we can use the specific materials that allow the cabinet to remain as cool as possible through these heat tests. And if we visualize this, this will be an example of the cabinet before we did the bracing technology. So you can see, of course, it's animated, but this gives you a more visual representation of what happens in the speaker before the treatment. If we look at it after the treatment, which is the intelligent spot bracing and materials, it goes from being this floppy, resonant, noisy cabinet to something that is actually really quite rigid and cool. And the most desirable thing for a speaker designer is a cabinet that doesn't give the resonance noises and interference that can affect the whole performance of the speaker. So with all that considered, and the input from Think and the new industrial design, the new drivers, the magnet choice, the high frequency driver development, the positioning of the tweeter, the bracing within the cabinet, whether it's a bookshelf or the floor stander, the result is what we can actually quite confidently proclaim to be the best Diamond yet. It's a speaker that will offer an incredible soundstage. It offers incredible detail, and it offers just the most amazing performance for an incredible price point. We launched the speaker in October, actually earlier this month, and the feedback initially has been phenomenal. What Hi-Fi in the UK gave it a prestigious 5 stars, up there with the best, and they've for a long time said, the Diamond series is one of the benchmark entry-level hi-fi speakers, one of the most important that has ever been. And they support us with the fact that the Diamond 12 is probably the best Diamond yet. And it is genuinely a speaker that we would say you need to hear to believe. It's incredible. The size of it and the sheer scale that you get from it is fantastic. We go all the way from a 5 1/4 inch. So we actually have a 4-inch bookshelf for surround purposes, 5 1/4 inch in the Diamond 12.1. And then we go all the way up to dual 6.5 inch floor standers. We have a center speaker for home theater systems too. And it's a complete series that uses technology to give us those incremental increases in performance to make it a class leader. But it doesn't forget the most important thing of all, which I'm sure you gentlemen will agree. It's the music. It's all about the music. And technology is fantastic, but we have engineers like Peter Kommer, Karl-Heinz Fink working for us, who still use their ears. It's all about how the music sounds. And what we did with Diamond 12 was best of both worlds, all that history, all that heritage, all that pedigree, the technological advancements, and we bring you the Diamond 12. So implore you to check it out. Joe, we know you've got a pair, so we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But it is, we're pretty sure, the best diamond yet.
That was an awesome presentation.
Absolutely.
That was great.
Yeah, so this is gonna be an unboxing of the Wharfedale 12. No, just kidding. You're gonna have to wait for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. What is
Thank you.
what is he saying over here? Is it me or is the Hi-Fi Summit the arch nemesis of my bank account? I want it all.
No, we're not, because these are affordable. These are affordable, my friend.
Yeah. Do we have pricing on these yet, or?
I think they're $499 US, the 12.1. So yeah, incredibly affordable.
Let's see.
It might be $399.
Mofi, if you're in here, let us know.
MoFi says he can set up with a contact for Canada.
Nice.
Let's see here. Do you ship to Canada? Just trying to pop out some of these. Oh, they're $399.
$399. Yeah, right. Sorry, my bad.
$399
See,
for
they're on
the
sale
bookshelves.
for the summit, so pick them
Yeah,
up
there it
now.
is.
Yeah.
Special Hi-Fi Summit deal. Get them now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Or
very, very cool.
Affordable for my weak Canadian dollar. Oh man.
yeah, that's a lot of stuff that you got going on here, and that's cool because I review some of the entry level stuff, and it just keeps getting better.
It does.
That's what's exciting about this stuff.
Well, the thing with the entry level is it's an incredibly competitive market.
Sure.
There are some fantastic players out there. I'm not going to name them because this is Wharfedale's time to shine, but there are some fantastic models out there. And we know and like them. We reference them. We don't get too hung up on it because we have to focus on ourselves. But like I said, we have to look that the key thing for Wharfedale is continuous improvement, and that goes all the way back. Gilbert Briggs was one of the first people ever to do the stereo sound presentation. It was the way he launched Wharfedale, and he would do a stereo presentation, somebody playing the piano, then he'd play a recording of the piano over some stereo speakers and trick the audience into figuring out which one was real. And that proves it was all about the musicality. It's all about the speaker being something you can listen to and engage, and it's kind of romantic. Yeah, and that's what Wharfedale is all about, that incremental improvement every time to keep giving you the best speaker yet. And we like to push the boundaries, and it is about being the benchmark.
We got the whole MoFi team in here. We got Ben in here. He says the largest tower is shown as $998 a pair. Nice to see Wharfedale. Yeah.
Jerry,
We know who they are. We know who they are. Okay. And Wifey
It's
says
$3.99,
$3.99
yes.
and the accent sold. There it is. That's all you need. Combine those two.
Unfortunately, Angela, the speakers don't come with the accent.
Yeah, order a pair today, send me a receipt, I'll do you a voicemail recording or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
What else we got here? What's the difference between the Evo 4.3 and the 4.4?
Basically, size of the drivers. So the Evo 4.4 is the biggest in the range. And the size of drivers, obviously with the size of the drivers comes a bigger cabinet. The Evo 4.4 is the biggest one we offer. It's phenomenal. It's an incredible speaker. But they still use the same AMT, the air motion transformer. They still use the soft dome mid-range, but you're just getting a bigger bass and mid bass on there.
Those look nice.
Yeah.
It comes in white.
Castle.
I asked about the pricing, and he said it's about $1,700-ish for the large floor standards, center channel, and the 12.1s as the surrounds. And then $1,500 if you go for the smaller floor standards. That's great value right there for a 5.0. John says, "Do you want me to do math on a Friday night?"
Where is he?
That's hilarious.
Where is that?
It's right there. Oh man, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Anything that's got like high value for performance, I'm down with that.
Yeah. Well, we are a beast unto ourselves, unfortunately, with Wharfedale. It causes me a lot of problems. I mean, my job is essentially keeping customers happy and selling the goods. Incrementally through the whole company, whatever we do, it's ultimately about providing customers with a good solution. And we are a nightmare for over-engineering and underpricing our product. And I think, from a trade side, looking back at the Linton series, the Linton speaker, That speaker's incredible for the money, unbelievable. In hindsight, I wish we would charge 50% more because we, but this is what Wharfedale do. We undercharge and over deliver. And, we've made some mistakes over the years, of course, but recently the Evo 4, at least in the Linton Diamond 12, you're going to be blown away. It is completely over engineered.
Right. The 1200 for the pair of the 3-way Lintons, right? Is that?
Yeah, and real wood veneer.
Yeah, real wood veneer. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So speaking of the Evo and let me pull it back up here. I had a question, like what's the difference between, somebody would want the Diamond versus somebody that want the Evo, like kind of what are the differences there in those two series?
Well, they both follow the Wharfedale ethos. So to be clear about it, they're both a very, very musical speaker. That's the thing. They're both fantastic. The Diamond 12 series is what we would call our entry-level model. Now, we do have more affordable speakers, but something like the Diamond 12 is entry-level hi-fi. It is legitimately hi-fi. It is a high-performance speaker for high-fidelity listening. The Evo 4 series is a step up. The Evo 4 goes from using the soft dome tweeter and the polypropylene woofer to using the AMT, which is an air motion transformer. It's a more complex high frequency driver that offers a real silky smooth high end. And it has a soft dome mid-range. So it moves into a 3-way configuration from the 4.2 upwards. With that comes incredible vocal tangibility. And it is a step up. As you go through speaker series, you'll just find you get more and more performance for your money. And the Evo 4 it's a fair upgrade. It is a bit of a jump from entry-level Diamond money to Evo 4 money. But what you're getting for your money is it's incredible performance. But the technology, you pay for that with the Evo 4. You're paying for that soft dome. You're paying for the AMT. And the cabinet is it's a curved cabinet, which is the labor cost in producing curved cabinets is more expensive, and it's a real wood veneer. We go from vinyl. We use a real nice vinyl in the 12 series. It looks, I think one reviewer actually checked with us to see whether it was veneer or vinyl. It's that good quality. But the Evo 4 series is real wood, hand-matched real wood veneers.
Cool.
What is this? Yeah, somebody was asking about Castle Acoustics. I guess they said sister company. They asked a few times, so
yeah. Well,
they really want to answer.
We still own Castle. IAG Group still own Castle, and it still does relatively well in its niche market. But 2021 is a big year for Castle. Maybe I'll join the Hi-Fi Summit with something new for Castle next year. But
there you go.
Castle essentially is moving back to made in UK product, which is going to be exciting. But that's all I can tell you for now.
Cool. Look forward to hearing about it.
You told us after your presentation we could grill you, right?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Go for it. No, I don't really have anything to say. I was just thinking, if these are the best diamonds, what are you guys gonna do next year?
Oh well, Diamond 12 is going to be around for a few years yet. Diamond 11 has been around since like 2015, 16. So that's had a long run. And this is the thing, one thing we don't like to do is keep upgrading or changing our product because that devalues the customer's investment. And we're not about that. We want the customers to be satisfied in what they're investing in. And to be fair, what we've put into Diamond 12 is many, many years of engineering and technology development. So to start again, we're looking at another 4 or 5 years away. It's going to be a while before anything else comes. No need to worry about that.
What else? You have a heat map of your other cabinet designs as well.
We do, yes. I don't have them with me, sadly. I don't have them right now, but we do have that kind of information. So maybe that's something we need to put on the website or the Facebook channel. But yeah, we heat map. Every cabinet was designed from the ground up. So we talk about, we have the industrial design just to talk you through the process because a lot of people don't really know how we go about speaker design. We would come up with a concept, and it's quite easy with Diamond. The company as a whole knows what the concept is for Diamond. It's affordable, musical, fantastic hi-fi. It has to be value for money, and it has to be class leading. From there, we use an industrial designer who actually comes up with the way the speaker looks, and we spend a lot of time doing little changes here and there, whether we choose different Pantones, whether it's down to the metal, the finish we use on the surrounds, the position of that, the width, everything goes through a huge level of consideration. And then from the industrial design, we start talking about mechanics. which is how the speaker's going to work and how that works. And basically we choose the kind of driver we want to use in consultation with the engineers, and that's where we start talking about the magnets and even the bobbins that we're going to use. From there, all that work is put together, and we go through a prototyping stage. So we see how things work. And during that process, everything is evaluated, constant cycle of evaluation. We're talking about running the drivers through different tests, running the cone materials through different tests. Even the surrounds, we go through 30 or 40 different types of rubber surround, different thickness and density to make sure we get the right damping effect. And through all of that, the cabinet will go through the same different heat maps. Karl Heinz and his team, they actually have a room dedicated to measuring the resonance of wood. So they actually look at the materials and figure out which works best with which. So there's a lot of development on what materials we use for the bracing and where it will sit and how that will affect the actual performance. And that's all before we get to the stage of what we would call the first samples, or T0. And then from there, it's constant listening, constant evaluation, constant measurement, samples sent all around the world. Our engineering lead is in the UK. So we're still based out of the UK. Our head of acoustics and the acoustic director of the company, Peter Kommer, is based in the UK. And we have research and development in China because of manufacturing facility out there. So the samples flying all around the world all the time, different offices. And we get to a stage where we're comfortable with what we're listening. Then that will go through the process of the sales and marketing to make sure our product experts are actually comfortable with what we're at. And then with the final engineer sign off, after all that feedback and all that consultation, we'll start talking to our distributors and our partners to make sure they understand where we're going and make sure the product fulfills the end customer's needs. And with that, we actually end up with the final product. And that isn't quick. It's a lot of manpower, a lot of work, and a lot of investment. For a speaker we sell for $399, so
got to sell a lot of.
No one's getting rich from that one, but it's something we do. It's a passion. It's what Wharfedale is all about.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, so you have 12.1. I'm excited to actually try these out. So I don't know even know if I'm gonna do an unboxing or if I'm just gonna like open them up and start using them. But 12.1. What's the difference between 12.1 and 12.2? And which one would you kind of recommend to, in different scenarios?
Well, the driver size. So the 12.1 is a 5.25 inch, and the 12.2 is a 6.5 inch driver. And the cabinet size gets a little bigger. So the 12.1 is traditionally, for the European market especially, is that that is the benchmark. That is where customers automatically go to for reviews or evaluation, and most dealer websites are orientated about that kind of speaker because that's the volume mover. The 12.2 is essentially the bigger brother. It's the one with more bass, higher performance. The cabinet's bigger, so there's a higher volume. It moves a lot more air. If your living room is bigger or your listening room is bigger, go for the 12.2 every day of the week because you're going to get more performance for it. But if you're after a more compact constraints, hi-fi system or or audio system, however you're setting up your speakers, the 12.1 is a fantastic starting point. The bass you get out of 5.25 inch, it's limited by physics naturally, but we like to bend those rules, and you'll be impressed as to what you're getting out of a 12.1. But the 12.2 just goes that extra mile.
For floor standards, do you have the same kind of scenario where you have 5.25 and a 6.5?
Yeah, exactly. So you can see there, 12.0 is the small one. That's the really affordable 4-inch. Then we go, if you scroll down just a little bit on that page, you can see that the models side by side. So you got 12.0, 12.1, 12.2. They're the bookshelf, the stand mounts. And then you can see just to the right of those there, you got 12.3, which is the dual 5.25, and then the 12.4, which is dual 6-inch.
Wow. So the 12.0, what is that, a 4-inch?
Yeah.
I like this in white.
4, 5, 6, yeah.
This one in
yeah,
white
look at this.
great.
Look at how they look. They look pretty cool.
Yeah.
What amps does Wharfedale use to test their speakers, and what is your favorite amp to pair it with? Probably
Well,
something
again,
like quad or something.
No, well, for listening, there are hundreds of thousands of hours of listening tests that we go through, and we have to make sure that we are testing with a variety of sources. So we know what the class leaders are, and we know where to reference and what our customers are likely to be using. So we go through a whole series in our listening room. We've got a wealth of different amplifiers. But obviously, being an IAG group, we own a lot of different electronics brands. So we own Quad, we own Audio Lab. So we can use these as good reference points too. But we don't give away our trade secrets. I won't tell you what the reference is, but we do make sure that we match with a lot of different systems, whether it's 5.1, 2-channel. We go through a whole cycle.
Somebody here asked about, can you speak a little bit about Elysian?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. What would you like to know about Elysian?
Maybe for the folks who don't really know about it, maybe Chana, you could pull it up here.
I got it.
This is the flagship, right?
Yeah, Elysian is a flagship. Now, over the history of Wharfedale, there's always been one flagship model. Gilbert Briggs has always had one flagship model in his series. Previously, these were the fantastically received models like Opus or Jade. And then Wharfedale kind of moved away from that segment. Elysian was an original internal attempt to get back to that, flagship high-end speaker model. But we didn't quite know what we wanted to do. So basically, this was a free rein. And this is where our head of acoustics, Peter Como, came back in. So we sat there and said, Peter, look, what we need is a flagship speaker. We know our customers are looking at high-end audio from Wharfedale. We need to revisit this segment. What can you do? So we went through a cycle of, again, like I said, with the industrial design, all the process I outlined a few minutes ago, how we can get there. And Peter was like, what I'm going to do is a beast. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. It's going to make your chest pound. What do you reckon? And it was kind of like, we're like, ooh, I don't know where this is going to go. But we looked at the way the speaker looked, and we thought, how can we make this be exceedingly good value, like all the other speaker series? And with Elysian, you're actually getting a piece of hi-fi furniture. It's incredibly well finished. It's actually still hand finished. It's manufactured in China, but it is hand finished. It's 7 times lacquered.
Damn, 109 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely furniture.
Yeah, it's a beast. The finish on it is incredible. It's hand polished 7 times, re-lacquered 7 times. So it goes over and over. It takes an incredible amount of manpower and hours, labor time to produce one of these is huge. It's not something that comes off a production line. It's a curved cabinet. It's precisely measured. Each one of those lines represents a division between the drivers. So it's a level of accuracy, and that's there to represent the precision we've put into the drivers. It uses an air motion transformer, which is basically like a corrugated aluminium high frequency driver that moves air through. It's hard to see there without zooming in, but it moves air instead of pushing like a normal dome tweeter would. It moves in a very different way. So it allows us to get a real thickness and real precision with the high frequencies. It uses a huge mid-range, and on the Elysian 4 there, you've got dual 8-inch bass. It uses a slot-loaded port, so the pressure within the speaker is balanced at the bottom. Instead of pushing air out the front or back, it actually comes out the bottom. That's something proprietary to Wharfedale. It's something we use a lot, and that allows for a very convenient positioning of the speaker. A speaker like this, look, you've got 2 8-inch woofers there pounding away. There's a lot of air moving. You can't put a rear port on that because it's going to blow a hole in the wall or it's going to fall over. So, nice. We put the slot-loaded port, and that gives us actually a really smooth bass and real smooth low frequency output. So the Elysian is incredible technology crammed into a speaker that retails, and it's a high value. $10,000 of anybody's money is a lot of money. But what you're getting there compares with speakers that are 2 times the price in specification alone, let alone cabinetry, let alone accuracy of the performance. The drivers are actually manufactured in Europe, so they're very, very high performance, and everything down to the materials we use for the surrounds on the drivers. It's high level material. Look at the feet on the speaker. That's a custom gunmetal grey finish we use on there. Everything about it exudes luxury and performance, and value for money wise. For 10 grand, I don't think you're going to get a better speaker. I really don't. A fantastic review went online recently, which the guys at MoFi helped set up with Thomas and Stereo. I'm not sure if you guys know him on YouTube. And hear what he's got to say about Elysian.
Thomas.
Yeah, hear what he's got to say. He puts it in he actually talks about, he listened to the speaker in the dark, because it actually disappears into the room and it brings a sound stage that you would get from an auditorium. The accuracy of what you hear in things like claps and vocals, it's unrivaled at this price point. So the Elysium 4, it's everything from Diamond 12, Evo, Linton. It's all that combined into one with the most advanced speaker we've ever produced, the most luxurious speaker we've ever produced. And it really stands for itself. It is one for the history books.
Looks nice.
Speaking of reviewers, fellow content creator, audio reviewer, Terry over there at Pursuit Perfect System, he did this whole shootout, right, with a bunch of bookshelf speakers under a certain price point, and I think the Evos came out on top.
Evo 4.2.
Like in between these, right?
Yeah. So Diamond is the entry level. So that's our that's our access point, and a fantastic access point that is. Evo 4 sits in the middle. So that's for the guys who want to spend a bit more money, want that extra bit of performance and more bang for their buck. And then Elysium is flagship. That's the high end. That's the that's the connoisseur's choice. So Terry did a group shootout, basically comparing a lot of stand mount bookshelf speakers side by side, and he came back to the Evo 4.2 as the best. Again, it's a huge speaker, fantastic technology put in there, 3-way design, for incredible value for money. I think he did it for best bookshelf under 1,000 GBP, but I believe, I think what's Evo 4.2? Yeah, $1,000. And you get, it's incredible for what you get for your money there.
Look at that mid-range.
Yeah, huge soft dome. And that's, again, Wharfedale, we're famous for soft domes over the years. That soft dome mid-range really brings out the vocal tangibility, instruments, the delicate things that most speakers miss, that mid-range actually brings back. And it brings a level to the music. It's what we call kind of a neutral sound. So, your electronics and your cabling can affect the way it performs, which is good. You can customize the performance of your system. But what you can get from an Evo, especially a 4.4, I mean, that speaker pounds. It's a bookshelf, but it offers a load of bass. But the accuracy of that AMT combined with the mid-range brings out a lot of musicality that is just lost on a standard 2-way.
So these are similar in price to, would you say the Heritage, the Denton?
Yeah. These are a little bit more expensive than the Denton, so these are a step up from the Denton 85th. But you're getting a beast for your money.
Different sound signature too.
Yeah. So Evo 4 is a bit more neutral. That's going to come by nature of the AMT. The Denton is a heritage speaker. Denton's a speaker Wharfedale have been producing for many years, back to the 60s. So Denton's got its own kind of sound signature. And that's what Peter Como is fantastic at. Peter Como is our acoustic director again. He's a wonderful gentleman, unparalleled expertise and experience in designing and developing speakers. And what he brings out of the Denton is a romantic, good old days of hi-fi. You'll agree, Joe. I remember seeing your review of it, and it was phenomenal. It brings music back to your life. It's about the music. It just sounds fantastic. So it's a different
top of my leaderboard for a long time, and I didn't know what you guys were doing specifically, because typically people are just looking for accurate, and they weren't the most accurate as far as measurement, but I enjoyed them. So it's hard to figure out what you guys are doing, but just keep doing that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We can all sit here and we can listen to things analytically. And as I mentioned in the Diamond 12 presentation, we can talk about analyzing our music. But you know what? On a Sunday afternoon with a beer, when you just want to chill out, you don't analyze your music, you listen to it.
That's right.
That's what we want you to do. That's what Wharfedale's about. Listen to your music. Enjoy it. Yeah.
Or on a Friday night with
he's like
getting ready.
All he needs is an invitation.
Let's go. Let's get these speakers. Now those Evo 4, what was it, 4.2? It says bookshelf speaker. Now that bookshelf,
it's a large bookshelf
term is like, loosely stated, right?
Large bookshelf.
Yeah. Well, we would never recommend put a speaker on a bookshelf. I'm a hypocrite. Look at me, I got Diamond 12 on a fireplace here. But that's just to show you that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they're not based there. It's just there for the video. But we're actually internally referred to as a stand mount. It's not a bookshelf.
Stand mounter,
mount speaker. But the industry term is people refer to it as bookshelf.
Stand mount. That's pretty cool. I like
we'd always say put it on a stand. It's much better than a bookshelf.
Those look cool. Yeah, John, I'm low on the hibiki. I gave myself 1 year. I got it Christmas last year, and I'm trying to keep it till Christmas this year. But I don't know. It's a little tough.
He's getting weak. He's getting weak.
I'm gonna pour some right now, actually, since it is Friday night and we're getting close to that
party time.
That party time. Yeah, but man, I always used to buy black speakers until I got some like walnut ones into review, and damn, they look so good. I really want to check out some white speakers next. There's these Evo bookshelf stand mounters.
Stand mount
look pretty cool in white. Almost like they almost look like Stormtrooper-ish.
The diamonds here are walnut and pearl.
Walnut and pearl.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. These things look hot. Look at that.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's like that. That's actually, you can't quite see on there. I'm not sure. It's probably a small amount, but it's actually like a white oak. So there's a very nice
grain, right?
So
there's a grain to it. Yeah, there's a real nice grain, real nice texture to it.
Very cool.
So yeah, custom finish took us a while to get that right as well. Actually, it was hard to get that white without ruining the grain or without being too transparent that it looked kind of faded. But yeah, it's really nice finish.
Nice.
Now, do you guys do subs or no?
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
I saw there's two of them, I think, on there.
Yeah. So we have
figures by type.
A couple of different subwoofer series. We have the WH series and the SW series.
Let me check out the stands too. I see you got stands. Are they matching? Do they match this? I always like matching stands to the speakers.
We do. We got there's the Wharfedale do various stands. So depending on the size of your speakers, we offer different stands for that. But we actually designed a specific stand for Evo 4 as well. So for the Evo 4.1 and 4.2, we developed the Evo 4 stand. And yeah, you can see that there's the first stand on the page. So what that actually has there is a thicker metal pole and the two surrounds, and that is a perfectly balanced plinth. And you can see the shape of the top plate supports the shape of the bottom perfectly. Right. So that slot loading port sits on there perfectly.
It's got a thick rear end.
That's what he said. All right, so we're getting a little crazy here. So there was a question actually about the slot loaded port. Can you talk a little bit about the thought process on the bottom slot port? Yeah,
it's something Wharfedale have used a lot, and it's something that Peter Como, the head of Acoustics, is a very big fan of. The reason why we actually introduced it, again, going back to the Diamond 11 series, the predecessor, the main benefit of the slot loaded port is speaker positioning. As we said, if you put the port on the back of your speaker,
you're limited.
It's very difficult to have them close to a wall. And to get optimum performance, not all of us have the luxury of a fantastically big listening room where you can have your speakers a meter or two away from the wall. So that creates issues. With a slot loading port, it takes away all of that problem. All of that cabinet air pressure. I mean, you have to balance the air pressure in a cabinet. If you know nothing about speakers, forgive me, I know a lot of guys listening here do. But as that driver moves, there's a lot of air pressure changes that are happening, and that affects the actual performance of every component of the speaker. And unless you balance that air pressure, you're going to have issues. So with the slot loading port, it allows the air pressure to be balanced and the air to be diffused away from the speaker in an omnidirectional fashion. So you're not relying on the air being pushed backwards, you're not relying on it pushed forwards. So with that, you can actually position them on a stand, close to a wall. I wouldn't say on a bookshelf or a fireplace like I've got here, but it allows a degree of versatility. And the cabinet air pressure balance is very, very efficient. It's a very clever design.
So Jamie, on the towers, you mentioned that there's different compartments for each, the tweeter, the mid-range, the woofers. Are those totally separated from each other?
Yeah. The mid-range and the base of the towers is not completely separated because that all uses the same port. We don't have multiple ports for that. But the high frequency is separate, and that allows the rear cabinet air pressure to be kept independent. So the base frequencies aren't going to affect the high frequencies. It's very important that you have a cap to basically isolate that.
Gotcha. So both of those drivers would be ported basically.
Yeah. The AMT, for instance, on the Evo 4 and Elysian actually has a complete cavity built
Gotcha.
into the actual driver itself. So if you take it out, it's completely isolated.
Gotcha.
And then that metal isolation means that AMT is unaffected by the air pressure within the cabinet.
Makes sense. Cool.
Mhm.
The AMTs are different between Elysian and the Evo, or no?
Yes, they are. Yeah. So the Elysian was developed with literally no price constraint. Of course, we couldn't be using platinum, and we couldn't be taking it to extremes of luxury metals. But what we did was develop the best AMT we could to fit that $10,000 price point. The Evo 4 then basically looked at that and trimmed it down, reduced the size. We have to lighten the materials a little bit. It's not as thick, it's not as heavy. It doesn't need to be because the cabinet pressure isn't as much, but it's based on the same principle. It comes from the same parent drawing, as it were.
And are these pretty easy to drive, these Diamond 12.1s, or I'm not sure which one you're referring to, Jeff Briggs?
Yeah, well, one thing we don't do is we don't overrate our speakers. You won't look at our speakers and see that we've put 2,000 watts PMPO on there. We're genuine about what our speakers achieve. We don't like to talk about our speakers being a 200 watt speaker. We actually like to talk about what the speaker, the specifications are in terms of drivers and componentry and measurements, as opposed to what some perceived wattage is, because that means nothing. But what we do with our speakers are we actually make sure that they're very reasonable, very easy to drive, very friendly to a multitude of electronics, which goes back to the point that we have a cycle of testing equipment. So when we say start at 25 watts, that's basically, you can start with, for something like the Diamond 12, you don't need to spend $1,000 on an amplifier to get a good performance from it. It takes a moderate signal, and they're actually reasonably sensitive too. So I think the Diamond 12.1s got a sensitivity of around 88 dB. And that means you don't really have to have high power electronics to get the best out of them. I mean, we don't overpower it. We don't be using 2,000 watt monoblocks to drive a 5 1/4 inch bookshelf. So we talk about a range of powers, 25 to 150 watts. But we're realistic. We're not going to lie to you and say our speakers handle 2,000 watts or any of that rubbish. But we say they are reasonable. They're easy to load. They're actually very friendly in terms of impedance. You'll see we offer a variable rate in our specifications. We offer a minimum rate, sorry.
Yeah, I see that, minimal and a nominal.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? Which one do we choose one? Is there a selector? Does it happen naturally? How does that
work?
No,
well, your speaker won't select the impedance. It's what your amplifier will run
the amplifier
down to.
sees, right?
Yeah. So if if you're running a 5.1 configuration, or if you're using a pair of monoblocks or a power amplifier as opposed to an integrated, the impedance is going to vary. So we actually say with this, the minimum impedance, I mean, don't go below that because something's going to cook. But the minimum impedance means this speaker is actually really quite comfortable running at this rate. So what we're saying is, when you see these variable figures, we're saying, look, be comfortable with the equipment you've got. We're not too demanding. It's actually quite friendly.
It's actually quite friendly. Awesome.
When will the Diamond 12s be available in North America?
Imminently, if not already. So yeah, there's plenty on the way. I've seen the shipment documents leaving this week. So I know there's a huge amount that will be heading over to North America in the next few weeks. And yeah, it's
I think you like those, Chana.
They look nice.
Looks
We
like
can't hear you, Chana.
Pop yourself back in.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, they're also the same price range as my Martin Logan X Stats. So to be a nice apples to apples comparison.
Yeah.
No comparison.
Smoked it.
It would make a good video.
Yeah, no, it would. Yeah, no, it would. It'd be interesting to see, actually. It's interesting to see how Martin Logan tone compares to a Wharfedale. But with
you do your job well, Jamie. You do your job well.
Thank you. It's a passion. It's not a job. It's a passion.
He's like no comparison.
No comparison. Exactly.
But no, the Evo 4.4, for instance, is what Hi-Fi best floor standard under 1500 GBP for the second year running.
Oh, wow.
That's the most prestigious UK magazine. They see all the speakers, and Evo 4.4 is their choice. 2 years running. Not many times do you win it 2 years on the bounce, and we just have.
They look gorgeous.
I love it.
Right,
I like them.
I like this surround. This thing looks cool. I was looking at this earlier.
And you said those are 3-way too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3-way bipole?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
You've
in
never
white.
heard any Wharfedale, huh, Chana?
No, I haven't.
I know I haven't.
You haven't.
No.
Okay.
I did.
Maybe you guys can check some out.
I did hear is it the Lintons?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Because I remember specifically the little cabinet I mean the
The
stand.
stand.
And they have
the
they had
vinyl.
they had the vinyl underneath, and
Yeah.
I heard it at the Florida Audio Expo here in Florida.
Cool. What do you think?
It was cool. I mean, of course, I went through all of them, so I'm like remembering, okay, which one did I like the most? But I did remember that, and I was impressed. I'm like, dude, that is really cool.
Yeah.
I think from what I remember too, it has a lot of bottom end for
Yeah.
a, what do you call it? A floor
Well, that's still a stand mount. It's closer
Stand
to a
mount,
floor
yeah.
stand,
stand.
but
That's what I mean. A
yeah.
stand
So,
mount. I
yeah.
couldn't remember the term. I didn't want to call
Yeah.
it a bookshelf.
But that
Trying
just
to
got
learn.
it's got a huge 10-inch driver on it, so
Yeah.
you know, it's,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely thumps.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and for what?
We'll see.
$1,500 a pair. That's not bad.
Nah.
Stands, yeah, but you can't beat that. It's incredible. It's like saying I wish I'd have put the price up, but you know, it's unbelievable value. I'd rather customers be happy and have a steal than overprice our goods, and it is an incredible value for money speaker. It is.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of curious to see what Chana thinks. See if
Oh, yeah.
see if I'm lying about my my ratings. You know what I mean?
I know
We'll
he's a little biased. He's a little biased.
He likes Wharfedale.
Yeah.
That's good though.
He's a little biased.
Joe's harsh behind the
Yes.
sines. He's harsh. He just recognizes
I?
his speakers.
Ah,
yeah.
Joe's sweet. It's that hater Jay, fresh hater Jay comes out. And he gets a little rough.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll dig into it. I have to.
Yeah.
He has to.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Agreed. Are we fighting over picking the comments here?
Yeah. Go to Croissants next. It's awesome.
Where is he?
It's right above mine.
Man, I said
This
that
one?
one time.
I said.
It's the way
Y'all
you smile
y'all
when you
just
talk.
remember it because I normally don't say stuff like that. It was just I saw it. I was like, okay.
Oh, that's great. Oh yeah,
We got some good ones here.
John is trying to correct you there, Jamie. 8-inch.
Oh, here we go, John.
On the lintel.
Sorry. What did I say?
10-inch.
He said,
Sorry, my bad.
Let's
I
not
was like,
exaggerate.
that's a big old stand mount if it had a 10-inch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not nice, but I'm good.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's what the
Nice is overrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
No,
bad
man.
when your wife says you're not nice.
Yeah, well, nice
she-
enough.
she
That's
she knows him the best.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool
Very
stuff.
cool.
Oh man,
Good stuff.
Definitely
man.
I like the product line. I like the series. It looks gorgeous. It's one
you
that I
guys
have
got to
check
check
them
some out, Michael and Chana.
I'd be glad to.
You know,
Actually, the first time
they were
I
up there on the
actually-
top of my leaderboard for the longest time. So
The first time I saw Wharfedale speakers was on your YouTube channel. I was just like, what are those?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try.
It's actually named after a river in Yorkshire.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's where the original base for Wharfedale was. So, yeah, that's where it came from.
Interesting.
Nice.
Canada, yeah.
Yes, it will be. The guys at Mofi are working on that. We know that. So, yeah. Hopefully with
Gotta get
Diamond
some-
12, that will roll out a lot.
Very cool.
You, Angela says I missed those speakers. She's talking about the Denton 85th anniversary that got caught in the storage fire.
Oh,
Should
no.
have never put them in there. They should have stayed over here.
Mhm.
I have to test different speakers, but man,
Oh, no, I didn't realize you lost them.
yeah.
Yeah,
he
got
lost a lot of
whole
stuff.
storage unit.
You're welcome, Jeff.
He's saving up. All right.
Good. Yeah, good.
Well, good. We're coming up on an hour here, and I know it's what time is it over there, Jamie?
It is coming up to midnight.
Midnight. All right. Oh man, thank you for doing this.
Jamie's hardcore, man.
I know. And if you don't mind, just hang around a little bit longer. We have our private VIP area, and Chana, why don't you give us the info we need moving
Give you
forward?
The info that you need, I have no idea what you're talking
Well,
about, Joe.
you have
I'm
a thing
just-
coming up, right?
I'm just totally kidding with you, bro. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget we have the after party. It is hip hop night. We start in 1 hour, 5 p.m. You can access it from the HiFiSummit.com main page. It'll be there. It'll also be on my YouTube channel, TechnoDad, as well. Of course, the VIP, there will be a separate VIP camera. So, because it is the VIP room, so you guys get that. Don't forget, if you want to be part of the VIP room, go to the HiFiSummit.com, click that join button, and you'll be there. And as far as tomorrow goes, for day 3 of Hi-Fi Summit Q4 2020, we will start at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Valencia Theater seating. But for now, thank you so much, Jamie and IAG and the whole Wharfedale crew. I'm sorry, is it the MoFi crew?
MoFi.
MoFi, Wharfedale.
They're all over the place.
You guys are all in here. Thank you so much. Apparently, I need to contact either MoFi Distribution or Lenny or somebody. So that's what they were saying. So
I'll get you hooked up. Don't worry.
Sweet. All right. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the VIP for the rest of those. See you at the after party.
Hang out, Jamie. Don't leave.
Cool. Thanks, guys.